Hey, with 2020 coming to an end, I wanted to take a look back this year and tell you where certain products are that I have for review and what I still think about them. Am I still using them? So I'm just going to give you an update. Henry cordless here, of course, by the fireplace. He is one of the most used things that I have gotten for review of any machine, and I really can't say enough good things about Henry cordless. And I'm not going to bore you with the second or third review of him, but he's excellent. Get one if you need a cordless machine. It's great for quick pickups. Also here by the fireplace, Miele robotic vacuum. And this is their first gen robotic vacuum. As before I've stated, I've had problems with this. I do use it upon occasion, but it's really just not something that I use on a regular basis. Only when I don't have time to vacuum. So probably about 2-3 times a week I manually start it. The circuit board has gotten to be at the point where even after replacing it, it gives errors with the base, and there's not good documentation from Miele of which base and which circuit board works together. And I've actually a while ago I tried ordering a plethora of parts and mixing and matching them, couldn't get any of them to work. And because it's out of warranty, that's what it is. And this isn't a product that was made by Miele. This is a product that Miele put their name on and then later bought the South Korean company that made it. So I don't really fault Miele as a company for it, but I do fault the robotics manufacturer for not documenting this machine better. Yes, I still use my espresso machine every day, which makes very, very good lattes. Keeping on the kitchen theme, I'm still using both the Blendtec and the Cuisinart food processor on a regular basis. I will say, due to some spices and stuff that we put into the Cuisinart, this has become really foggy, so that's a bit of a disappointment. However, it survived lots of trips in the dishwasher. Several trips in the dishwasher, just fine. My IQ Air is still sitting in my living room, since we have an open kitchen living room sort of situation. It works great there. As I did in my 4K reviews, I changed the filters. I'm still very satisfied with the IQ Air. And my wife has added a small accessory on top of that. Keeping on the themes of air purifiers, you know, the Blue Air, I'm still using it. This was the one that I got at the thrift store, the bigger one. I use it in my bedroom, and it does help. I've gone through a couple sets of filters since I did that review. And one thing I tried this go around, if you can see, let's move the camera, probably better right there, is I have sealed where it would normally leak a little bit with duct tape. I mean, that's kind of what duct tape was for. Now, if you're seeing some animal hair or some various stuff, the cat you see in the background likes to jump up on top of this. So I'm sure the hair falls down after she does that onto her. But that's my where the Blue Air has sit and lived here for at least a year now. One little addition I did is I put this magnet over that light from it keeping me up at night. And Blue Air will actually send you one of those if you want one, but since I had that magnet, I just used it. And next to my editing station, if we look on the floor here, there is the other Blue Air, which you can also see I've got a Miele dealer binder next to that. One day we'll talk about that. But this sits right here in my office next to my desk and helps me with my allergies. It also helps keep the computers dust-free or less dusty as well. Kind of an interesting use for an air purifier. Now, people do not usually videotape their insides of their closets. I'm still using the same central vacuum nozzles. I tend to alternate between these three. I really like my EBK 360, but I like using my SIBO ETH and my SIBO ET1, though I find the ET1 kind of bogs down on the kind of carpet I have. So I feel like I am stressing that when I use it on my soft carpet. But the ETH is by far my favorite to use of the three. Followed closely, I guess, maybe not far, closely by my EBK 360. You know, this is the problem with having access to so much hardware, is what do I use every day, really? Well, trying to make use of a stick vac when you have other vacuums you would rather use is kind of hard. So to encourage that use, I actually put this in our master bedroom closet, which goes right next to our master bedroom bathroom where the cat box is. So I do occasionally use it in there, but not as often as you would think. But it is here, and I do have it. And I've brought this thing out for a couple comparison videos and various things, so it's, again, here for long-term review. Now, I wanted to say, the other day, it really started to stink. And, I've washed this thing a few times, being a bagless vacuum. So, I couldn't find these online for a reasonable price. The only one I could find at the time was like $50, which is a lot of money for a machine that I really just don't use and don't need to use. So the instruction manual says actually to wash the HEPA. I didn't do that. So what I did was I vacuumed it out with my central vacuum, and I gave it 2 squirts of enzymes and let it dry overnight, which eliminated the odor. But again, it is a problem with bagless machines. I also washed everything else out on the inside, so the odor's gone, but it's just one of those things with bagless machines, is they get stinky. Now, I think only the most dedicated of my viewers have probably seen this, or randos who came across the channel looking specifically for this machine. Last year for Hanukkah, I did a little video on this, and this machine has been sitting here in my master bedroom bathroom, which is kind of bigger than the square footage this thing is rated. But, having an air purifier to eliminate odors next to a cat box is not a bad idea. And something I might be exploring with a different unit. I reached out to the manufacturer to attempt to find these filters with no response back. And again, this is an email from the marketing team who sent this to me for free. So, aftermarket support on this, like I said in the review, is questionable. And you can see this is pretty damn full of cat box dust and crap, to the point where I don't actually turn this one on anymore. And I tried looking on eBay and Amazon measuring it, but it's kind of a funky size. It's a real shame to have to throw something away like this, but as of right now, I cannot find anything that is the right size of filters, even though it looks very similar to a lot of different ones out there. They are slightly different. So going back to what I said before, I can't really recommend this product, like I said in the initial review. Now, this next one was another gift from a rando Chinese manufacturer, and it's still going. I'm still using it. This humidifier works very, very well, and I'm pretty happy with it. What I'm not happy with, let's turn it off for a second, is how you have to clean it in here. Because it's so tall and the shape's so narrow, it's really hard to clean, and they included a brush, but again, it was hard to clean. Also, the calcium buildup of having this part taller than the vent is stupid, because the calcium that builds up from the water is ridiculous. And if I never use the light, but it's got a light. Yeah, you can see the light right here. If they had made this flush with this, or had just extended this part up a little bit, just a centimeter or two would have done it, but they didn't. So that's where I am with that. In the process of editing this, I did a quick search on their newer products, and it appears they've changed their design to not only be easier to clean, but they've also made it flush on the top. Good for them for changing their design and updating it. But I am still using that humidifier. My wife really likes the air much more humid than what we have here in our dry climate. And those who don't know, I live in what's technically considered a dry desert, though where I've lived in the past has been far drier, so this feels like the rainforest to me personally. But coming from a wet climate like where my wife is from in Shanghai, this is definitely the desert. As to be expected, my Speed Queens, well, they're here. These monolith of machines will be here probably forever. They're so well built. I want to talk about my Bissell Spotbot. Now, getting into this, I knew it was a hunk of trash. I know it's a Bissell, but it's the only set it and forget it spot cleaner out there that I'm aware of, at least until our patent goes up. So I had, when I first got the hose out of the box, it was stiff. Of course, one day it decided to split. So I went on Amazon and ordered a new hose. I have a whole video on that repair. And this one actually looks like it matches, but it's actually gray. The original hose was black. One thing I do is I store the tank off the machine upside down. I have this auxiliary sink here that I leave it in. And I always rinse out the hand tool when I'm done with it. But this machine, let's look at the date code because I don't remember. It's a 2016. I didn't expect it to last. The first one I had lasted far longer than it was supposed to. In conclusion, with the Bissell Spotbot, I kind of expected just to take a shit randomly one day on me, being a Bissell product. Luckily, it's not that much, and they're relatively inexpensive to replace. Now, something I always use with this, I use this unique brand, Enzyme-based cleaners. I really, really recommend this stuff. It's great. Not only does it get pet stains out, it doesn't overly clean the carpet, it doesn't leave clean marks in the carpet. It eliminates the odors. Just excellent stuff. And you can get the same stuff also with the Oric label on it as well, but I find it's more cost effective right now, at least, to get the unique brand. So I would highly recommend that. And I use this Bissell Spotbot primarily for cat vomit and food messes. So, you know, somebody spills something in the living room they shouldn't, that's what we use this for. I had done a review on this a long time ago, but it's still my most used accessory probably of all the vacuum stuff I have, is this Visselwerk Deluxe nozzle. Now, these have gone in and out of stock a couple times. Sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're carbon fiber. You can almost always find the commercial variant, which doesn't come with the gray bumper or the carbon fiber fake piece on top. So keep that in mind. If you don't find the exact one on the link in that video, there is another one available. Again, I still use this. It's a very durable tool. Occasionally I just throw it in the dishwasher to keep it clean. As you can see, it's pretty clean right now. I need to do a review on both of these individually, but I have, to the left is just your twister Visselwerk tool. I use this before I mop once a month. I like to use the brush tool just to make sure all the fine dust is out of every crevice and everything. Though I really don't feel like I'm picking up that much more than I am with the other Visselwerk tool, but I do use that. The next thing I use upon occasion, it makes me chuckle, and it does actually clean really well, is this first generation TurboCat. Again, I keep meaning to make a video review on this, and if you're not familiar with the first generation TurboCat, well, there's the bottom. Man, I have really beat the crap out of this. Yeah, I actually, you might remember I have a refurb video on this as well. So those are some of the tools I use on a regular basis. Going into 2021, we do plan on having a long-term review on this Hoover cordless machine, which is a cordless version of the Oric XL21. So yeah, hopefully good things come of this. I certainly got it cheap enough. So you'll see an unboxing, some reviews coming later this year on it, but expect also a long-term review on it as well. So those who have been following the channel for any time know that I usually do my stair review right here next to my Haida hose. And this piece of furniture is not usually in this shot, but I figured I'd show you today what's in this, because this, I keep a few different things in here. So first of all, I keep my TK 286 in here. I use this on my stairs. I use this often. So anytime I need a turbo with my Haida hose, I keep it right here next to my Haida hose. I also keep a Visselwerk, Dyson branded, but it's a German Visselwerk turbo for my stairs. Tornado Power wipes right here. And I keep a old G3, but really any Kirby style natural hair dusting brush right here as well. So that's what I keep in this piece of furniture. I wanted to talk about the G Nozzle real quick. As you all know, I have had the ability to run some ads for 0G, but I do use the nozzle occasionally on the end of my central vacuum, and I have done a few videos with it as well. And anytime I have to clean a friend's apartment or something that's moving or they've had a bad vacuum, I bring the 0G because it's so powerful. But my 0G has had a problem, and I am going to mention it to anybody, and I'll tell you what happens if you have this problem. So my 0G, gosh, it's hard to see. Right there. So my 0G right there got a crack in the brush roller. And I contacted 0G, and of course they were going to replace my nozzle for me as well. So I'm getting a new nozzle sent to me. So that's not really a huge problem, but it is something to note that this was cracked. Interesting enough, I did learn about the 0G is there's a third bearing in the middle of the brush roller, so they don't have to balance it. So that's kind of an interesting, cool quality thing that they do. So 0G does stand by their warranty. I just wanted to let all my viewers know about that. Well, here we are. It must be the end of the year special because we're in my vacuum room, or kind of in my vacuum room. I can't fit my tripod in here anymore without having to remove a bunch of stuff. So I'm not going to do the central vacuum bag change like I do every year. It is extremely consistent. You can go back and watch the other footage from that, but there's really nothing special about that. However, I will do some handheld work with like a GoPro or something, and I'll show you what's in there. Well, thanks for watching our end of year special. Big thank you to our Patreon supporters who have made this year happen. If you like and enjoy this content, check out our Patreon page where we have exclusive videos for Patreon supporters, giveaways, and more. If you're not into Patreon, a like, a share are a big help in supporting this channel. Also checking out the Amazon links below. Thanks for watching this year. I hope to see you in the next year. Happy New Year from Performance Reviews, where we give you the review from the technician's point of view.